gratitude we offer this incense throughout space and time to our Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruits of understanding slowly ripening. May we and our Buddhas be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true the one who bows and the one who is bowed to are both by nature empty. Therefore, the communication between them is inexpressibly perfect. Our practice center is the net of Indra, reflecting everywhere, and with my person in front of each Buddha, with my whole life for refuge, offering light in the 10 directions, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, to whom we bow in gratitude. Teaching and living the way of awareness in the very midst of suffering and confusion. Shakyamuni Buddha, the fully enlightened one, to whom we bow in gratitude. Cutting through ignorance, awakening our hearts and our minds, Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of great understanding, to whom we bow in gratitude. Working mindfully, working joyfully for the sake of our beings. Samantabhadra, the Bodhisattva of great action, to whom we bow in gratitude. Listening deeply, serving beings in countless ways. Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion, to whom we bow in gratitude. Fearless and persevering in the realms of suffering and darkness, Kshitigarbha, the Bodhisattva of great aspiration, to whom we bow in gratitude. Mother of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all. Bodhisattva Gaya, Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to whom we bow in gratitude. Radiating light in all directions, source of life on earth, Mahavairochana Tathagatha, Great Father Son, Buddha of infinite life and light, to whom we bow in gratitude. showing the way fearlessly and compassionately, the stream of all our ancestral teachers, to whom we bow in gratitude. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. The deep and lovely. The insights that brings us to the other shore. Avalokiteshvara, while practicing deeply with the insight that brings us to the other shore. Suddenly discover that all the five skandhas are equally
Namo Shakyamunaye Buddhaya. Dear respected teacher, dear noble Sangha, please listen to us with compassion. We, Gail Gibbons, blossoming garden of the heart, Vu Ti Tan Luan Tam An Lak, Sharon Monday, joyous garden of the heart, Chris Trung, clear path of the heart, Bob Algier, ever present with the source, Win Miller Han, Tam An Han, Mary Nikakis, fresh garden of the heart, Mary Smiles, peaceful communication of the heart, Darlene Pride's true empty compassion of the heart, Carl Harmon, becoming stillness of the source, Huac Vo, source of inner mindfulness of the heart. We would like to make a formal request. Namo Shakyamunaye Buddhaya. Dear respected teacher, dear noble Sangha, we recognize that we're very fortunate. We have received a lot of merit from our blood ancestors and spiritual ancestors, and thanks to this, we have had the chance to receive and practice the 5 mindfulness trainings. The path of practice the path of practice of the trainings has helped our love and understanding to grow, bringing transformation, healing, and joy to ourselves and those around us. We have understood how valuable it is on this path to have a Sangha. Without the Sangha, how could we have been able to continue this beautiful practice in our daily life? If we flow with our Sangha as a river, we know we can reach the ocean of liberation. We would like to embrace the Sangha's career as our own. In the past year, we have come together once a month to study the 14 Mindfulness Trainings. We have participated regularly in mindfulness days and retreats organized by our local Sangha or Plum Village. Today, with all our heart, we aspire to receive the 14 precious trainings of the Order of Interbeing. We understand clearly that following this path, we are in the company of bodhisattvas, and that every moment can be a moment of happiness. With our local Sangha's support, we humbly ask our dear spiritual ancestors and noble Sangha to accept our request and to transmit to us the 14 trainings of the Order of Interbeing.
Yes, we are happy to accept your request on behalf of the community. You are very fortunate to have discovered such a wonderful path and to have the opportunity to commit yourselves to it. Your most beautiful task is to build a Sangha that can be a place of refuge for many people. This is what the Buddha did for his whole life. Following this path, you'll continue the Buddha's career. The Buddha and all the bodhisattvas will be there to support you.
We thank you, dear respected teacher, and dear noble Sangha, for accepting our request. We will follow your precious advice with all our heart.
Sangha Karman procedure. Has the entire community assembled?
The entire community has assembled.
Is there harmony in the community?
Yes, there is harmony.
What is the reason for the community assembling today?
The community has assembled today to perform the Sangha Karman for transmitting the 14 Mindfulness Trainings of the Order of Interbeing.
Noble community of interbeing, please listen. Today, the 14th of May, in the year 2023, has been chosen as the day to transmit the 14 Mindfulness Trainings of the Order of Interbeing. The community has assembled at the appointed time and is ready to transmit and receive the 14 Mindfulness Trainings in an atmosphere of harmony. Thus, the transmission can proceed. Such is the proposal. Is the proposal clear and complete?
Clear and complete.
Dear ordernees, please stand up and on hearing the sound of the bell after the recitation of each line, touch the earth one time.
In gratitude to our Father and Mother who have given us life, we bow deeply before the 3 jewels in the 10 directions. In gratitude to our teachers who have shown us how to love, understand, and live deeply the present moment, we bow deeply before the 3 jewels in the 10 directions. In gratitude to our friends who guide us and support us, especially in difficult moments, we bow deeply before the 3 jewels in the 10 directions. In gratitude to all beings in the animal, plant, and mineral worlds, we bow deeply before the 3 jewels in the 10 directions.
Please sit down on your cushion with your knees forward. Today, the community has gathered to give spiritual support to our siblings who will undertake to receive and observe the 14 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing and enter the core community of the Order of Interbeing. Dear ordernees, please listen. Following in the steps of the Bodhisattvas as your teachers and companions on the path, you have made the aspiration to receive and observe the mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing. You have given rise to the seed of bodhicitta, the mind of love. You have made the aspiration to develop this seed. Your own awakening and liberation, as well as the liberation and awakening of all other species, have now become your highest career. Dear brothers and sisters in the community, let us establish our mindfulness by enjoying our breathing so that we may be truly present and give support to this seed of bodhicitta, this mind of love in the ordernees. With our support, they will continue to develop this seed solidly and courageously so that it will become indestructible. This is the solemn moment for receiving the 14 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing. Listen carefully with a clear and concentrated mind to each mindfulness training as it is read, and answer, "Yes, I do," clearly every time you see that you have the intention and capacity to receive, study, and practice mindfulness trainings that will be read. Dear ordernees, are you ready? Yes. These then are the 14 trainings of the Order of Interbeing. The first training, openness.
Aware of the suffering created by fanaticism and intolerance, we are determined not to be idolatrous about or bound to any doctrine, theory, or ideology, even Buddhist ones. We are committed to seeing the Buddhist teachings as guiding means that help us develop our understanding and compassion. They are not doctrines to fight, kill, or die for. We understand that fanaticism in its many forms is the result of perceiving things in a dualistic and discriminative manner. We will train ourselves to look at everything with openness and the insight of interbeing in order to transform dogmatism and violence in ourselves and in the world.
This is the first mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it?
Yes, I do.
The second mindfulness training, non-attachment to views.
Aware of the suffering created by attachment to views and wrong perceptions, we are determined to avoid being narrow-minded and bound to present views. We are committed to learning and practicing non-attachment to views and being open to others' experiences and insights in order to benefit from the collective wisdom. Insight is revealed through the practice of compassionate listening, deep looking, and letting go of notions, rather than through the accumulations of intellectual knowledge. We are aware that the knowledge we presently possess is not changeless, absolute truth. Truth is found in life, and we will observe life within and around us in every moment, ready to learn throughout our lives.
This is the second mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it?
Yes, I do.
The third mindfulness training, freedom of thought.
Aware of the suffering brought about when we impose our views on others. We are determined not to force others, even our children, by any means whatsoever, such as authority, threat, money, propaganda, or indoctrination, to adopt our views. We are committed to respecting the right of others to be different, to choose what to believe and how to decide. We will, however, learn to help others let go of and transform narrowness through loving speech and compassionate dialogue.
This is the third mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The fourth mindfulness training, taking care of suffering.
Aware that looking deeply at the nature of suffering can help us develop understanding and compassion, we are determined to come home to ourselves, to recognize, accept, embrace, and listen to our own suffering with the energy of mindfulness. We'll do our best not to run away from our suffering or cover it up through consumption, but practice conscious breathing and walking to look deeply into the roots of our suffering. We know we can realize the path leading to the transformation of suffering only when we understand deeply the roots of suffering. Once we have understood our own suffering, we will be able to understand the suffering of others. We are committed to finding ways, including personal contact and using telephone, electronic, audiovisual, and other means, to be with those who suffer, so we can help them transform their suffering into compassion, peace, and joy.
This is the fourth mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it?
Yes, I do.
The fifth mindfulness training, compassionate, healthy living.
Aware that true happiness is rooted in peace, solidity, freedom, and compassion. We are determined not to accumulate wealth while millions are hungry and dying, nor to take as the aim of our life fame, power, wealth, or sensual pleasure, which can bring much suffering and despair. We will practice looking deeply into how we nourish our body and mind with the four kinds of nutriments, namely edible foods, sense impressions, volition, and consciousness. We are committed not to gamble or to use alcohol, drugs, or any other products which bring toxins into our own and the collective body and consciousness, such as certain websites, electronic games, music, TV programs, films, magazines, books, and conversations. We will consume in a way that preserves compassion, peace, joy, and good health in our bodies and consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of our families, our society, and the earth.
This is the fifth mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it?
Yes, I do.
The sixth mindfulness training, taking care of our anger.
Aware that the anger blocks communication and creates suffering, we are committed to taking care of the energy of anger when it arises, recognizing and transforming the seeds of anger that lie deep in our consciousness. When anger manifests, we are determined not to do or say anything, but to practice mindful breathing or mindful walking, to acknowledge, embrace, and look deeply into our anger. We know that the roots of anger are not outside of ourselves, but can be found in our wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in ourselves and others. By contemplating impermanence, we will be able to look with the eyes of compassion at ourselves and at those we think are the cause of our anger, and to recognize the preciousness of our relationships. We will practice right diligence in order to nourish our capacity of understanding, love, joy, and inclusiveness, gradually transforming our anger, violence, and fear, and helping others to do the same.
This is the sixth mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The seventh mindfulness training, dwelling happily in the present moment.
Aware that life is available only in the present moment, we are committed to training ourselves to live deeply each moment of daily life. We will try not to lose ourselves in dispersion or be carried away by regrets about the past, worries about the future, or craving, anger, or jealousy in the present. We will practice mindful breathing to be aware of what is happening in the here and the now. We are determined to learn the art of mindful living by touching the wondrous, refreshing, and healing elements that are inside and around us in all situations. In this way, we will be able to cultivate seeds of joy, peace, love, and understanding in ourselves, thus facilitating the work of transformation and healing in our consciousness. We are aware that true happiness depends primarily on our mental attitude and not on external conditions, and that we can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that we already have more than enough conditions to be happy.
This is the seventh mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The eighth mindfulness training, true community and communication.
Aware that lack of communication always brings separation and suffering, we are committed to training ourselves in the practice of compassionate listening and loving speech. Knowing that true community is rooted in inclusiveness and in the concrete practice of the harmony of views, thinking, and speech, we will practice to share our understanding and experiences with members of our community in order to arrive at a collective insight. We are determined to learn to listen deeply without judging or reacting, and refrain from uttering words that can create discord or cause the community to break. Whenever difficulties arise, we will remain in our Sangha and practice looking deeply into ourselves and others to recognize all the causes and conditions, including our own habit energies, that have brought about the difficulties. We will take responsibility for the ways we may have contributed to the conflict and keep communication open. We will not behave as a victim, but be active in finding ways to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small.
This is the 8th mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 9th mindfulness training, truthful and loving speech.
Aware that words can create happiness or suffering. We are committed to learning to speak truthfully, lovingly, and constructively. We will use only words that inspire joy, confidence, and hope, as well as promote reconciliation and peace in ourselves and among other people. We will speak and listen in a way that can help ourselves and others to transform suffering and see the way out of difficult situations. We are determined not to say untruthful things for the sake of personal interest or to impress people, nor to utter words that might cause division or hatred. We will protect the happiness and harmony of our Sangha by refraining from speaking about the faults of other persons in their absence, and always ask ourselves whether our perceptions are correct. We will speak only with the intention to understand and help transform the situation. We will not spread rumors, nor criticize or condemn things of which we are not sure. We will do our best to speak out about situations of injustice, even when doing so may make difficulties for us or threaten our safety.
This is the 9th mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 10th mindfulness training, protecting and nourishing the Sangha.
Aware that the essence and aim of a Sangha is the realization of understanding and compassion, we are determined not to use the Buddhist community for personal power or profit, or transform our community into a political instrument. As members of a spiritual community, we should nonetheless take a clear stand against oppression and injustice. We should strive to change the situation without taking sides in a conflict. We are committed to learning to look with the eyes of interbeing and to see ourselves and others as cells in one Sangha body. As a true cell in the Sangha body, generating mindfulness, concentration, and insight to nourish ourselves and the whole community. Each of us is the same, and at the same time a cell in the Buddha body. We will actively build brotherhood and sisterhood, flow as a river, and practice to develop the 3 real powers, understanding, love, and cutting through afflictions to realize collective awakening.
This is the 10th mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 11th mindfulness training, right livelihood.
Aware that great violence and injustice have been done to our environment and society, we are committed not to live with a vocation that is harmful to humans and nature. We will do our best to select a livelihood that contributes to the well-being of all species on Earth and helps realize our ideal of understanding and compassion. aware of economic, political, and social realities around the world, as well as our interrelationship with the ecosystem. We are determined to behave responsibly as consumers and as citizens. We will not invest in or purchase from companies that contribute to the depletion of natural resources, harm the earth, or deprive others of their chance to live.
This is the 11th Mindfulness Trainings of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 12th Mindfulness Training, Reverence for Life.
Aware that much suffering is caused by war and conflict, we are determined to cultivate nonviolence, compassion, and the insight of interbeing in our daily lives and promote peace education, mindful mediation, and reconciliation within families, communities, ethnic and religious groups, nation, and in the world. We are committed not to kill and not to let others kill. We will not support any act of killing in the world, in our thinking, or in our way of life. We will diligently practice deep looking with our Sangha to discover better ways to protect life, prevent war, and build peace.
This is the 12th Mindfulness Training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 13th Mindfulness Training, Generosity.
Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, we are committed to cultivating generosity in our way of thinking, speaking, and acting. We will practice loving kindness in working for the happiness of people, animals, plants, and minerals, and sharing our time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. We are determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. We will respect the property of others, but will try to prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other beings.
This is the 13th Mindfulness Training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? The 14th Mindfulness Training for lay members, True Love.
Aware that sexual desire is not love, and that sexual relations motivated by craving cannot dissipate the feeling of loneliness, but will create more suffering, frustration, and isolation. We are determined not to engage in sexual relations without mutual understanding, love, and a long-term commitment. We resolve to find spiritual support for the integrity of our relationships from family members, friends, and Sangha with whom there is support and trust. We know that to preserve the happiness of ourselves and others, we must respect the rights and commitments of ourselves and others. Recognizing the diversity of human experience, we are committed not to discriminate against any form of gender identity or sexual orientation. Seeing that body and mind are interrelated, we are committed to learning appropriate ways to take care of our sexual energy and cultivating loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness for our own happiness and the happiness of others. We must be aware of future suffering that may be caused by sexual relations. We will treat our bodies with compassion and respect. We are determined to look deeply into the 4 nutriments and learn ways to preserve and channel our vital energies, sexual, breath, spirit, for the realization of a bodhisattva ideal. We will do everything in our power to protect children from sexual abuse and to protect couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Will we be fully aware of the responsibility of bringing new lives into the world and meditate regularly upon the future environment?
This is the 14th mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. Do you make the commitment to receive, study, and practice it? Dear brothers and sisters, you now receive the 14 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing. You have taken the first step on the path of the Bodhisattvas, the path of great understanding of the Bodhisattva Monastery that puts an end to countless wrong perceptions, prejudice, and discrimination, the path of great compassion of Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, who loves, values, and protects the life of all species and listens deeply to their cries from all species, far and near, in order to help them. The path of great action of Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, who takes every opportunity to create love, understanding, and harmony in the world. Brothers and sisters, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will be with you on your path of practice. Upon hearing the sound of the bell, please stand up and bow deeply 3 times to show your gratitude to the 3 jewels. Please sit down as the Sangha chants the closing verse.
Transmitting the trainings, practicing the way.
We vow to offer
Em đọc ạ. Dear friends, congratulations. And we'd like to share that we also have Han Miller Nguyen, who also received it online. She's unfortunately can't be with us to be with her husband in the hospital. And Sister Thuy who's here, will receive the certificate from her. Now we receive your certificate from Sư cô Trân Khong, our eldest sister in the order. I will read your name and you can come and receive it from Sư cô.
Certificate of Ordination. The great way of reality in our true nature is pure ocean. The source of mindfulness penetrate everywhere. Phần đầu tiếp. Thôi, Pháp Dung đọc đi.
Yeah.
The long.
Đi coi. Con không có cái đó. Con đọc mà. So this is a certificate with the Gatha from our ancestor. The great way of reality is our true nature's pure ocean. The source of mind penetrates everywhere. From the roots of virtue springs the practice of compassion. Precepts, concentration, and insight, the nature and function of all three are one. The fruit of transcendent wisdom can be realized by being wonderfully together. Maintain and transmit the wonderful precepts, the wonderful principle in order to reveal the true teaching. For the realization of true emptiness to be possible, wisdom and action must go together. This is to certify that Chris Trung has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. He belongs to the 44th generation of the Lamte Linchi Dhyana school and the 10th generation of the Liu Quang Dharma line, with the lineage name Clear Path of the Heart, with the Dharma name True Rain of Mindfulness, Chang Mưa Niệm. The ordination was conducted on the 14th of May in the year 2023 at Deer Park Monastery with the spiritual support of the International Plum Village Dharma Teacher Council, represented by Thầy Pháp Ấn and Sư cô Trân Khong. Chris Trung. Chẳng mưa niệm. Lots of rain this year.
Next, this is to certify that Quoc Võ has been ordained as member of the Order of Interbeing. He belongs to the 44th generation of Lamte Linchi Dhyana school and the 10th generation of Liu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, True Dharma Nectar Rain, Chân Mưa Cam Lộ. Please. This is to certify that Carl Harmon has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. He belongs to 44th generation of Lamte school and the 10th generation of Liu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, true rain of harmony, chân mưa hòa. This is to certify that Darlene Fried has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. She belongs to 44th generation of Lam Tế Dhyana School and the 10th generation of Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, True Rain of Peace, chân mưa an. Đứng đây chờ. This is to certify that Mary Smile has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. She belongs to the 44th generation of Lam Tế Dhyana School and the 10th Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, True Rain of Insight, chân mưa tuệ. This is to certify that Mary Nikakis has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. She belongs to the 44th generation of Lam Tế Linh Dhyana School and the 10th generation of Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, Tree Rain of Freedom, chân mưa thông dong. True Rain of Freedom, please. Đưa qua. Nếu mà con đứng vậy con đưa qua. Đưa đây cũng được. Để Pháp Dung lại thôi. This is to certify that Bob R. Shear has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. He belongs to the 44th generation of Lam Tế School and the 10th generation of Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, True Rain of Compassion, chân mưa bi. This is to certify that Sharon Monde has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. She belongs to the 44th generation of the Lam Tế Dhyana School and the 10th generation of Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name is True Rain of Tranquility, chân mưa tĩnh. This is to certify that Gail Gibbon has been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. She belongs to the 44th generation of Lam Tế school and the 9th generation of Liễu Quang Dharma line. Dharma name, True Rain of Joy, chân mưa hỷ. Nay chứng nhận chị Vũ Thị Thanh Loan là tọa giới tiếp hiện. Chị thuộc thế hệ thứ 44 Tông Lâm Tế và thế hệ thứ 10 của phái Liễu Quán. Pháp từ chân mưa lành, True Rain of Wholesomeness. Mưa lành sướng quá. Open the mouth is Dhamma rain. Huh? Nay chứng nhận chị Nguyễn Miller Hạnh đã thọ giới tiếp hiện. Chị thuộc thế hệ thứ 44 Tâm Lâm Tế và thế hệ thứ 10 của phái Liễu Quán. Pháp từ chân mưa từ, True Rain of Kindness.
Yes, congratulations. Happiness is here and now. I have brought my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do. But I don't need to hurry. Wonderful. Now we have an opportunity to take a picture after we stand up and bow. You can bring your certificate up here and take a picture with Sister Chang Kong.